warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So before we start to the main topic of this video, let me introduce myself. My name is Anisa Nabila. I'm majoring in English education at Tansa Mashiro University. And in this video, I would like to present my observation of Amaliana's teaching demonstration. This observation covers various aspects including the learning objectives, lesson structure, reflection, and peer observation report. The class I observed was part of an English course with the topic telling someone to do something and asking someone to do something. The observation was conducted on January 7, 2025 in a junior high school class with a total of 14 students consisting of 8 females and 6 males. However, only 10 students were present during the observation as 4 were absent due to illness. The students were aged 15 until 16 years old and their English proficiency level was elementary. And here, the main objectives of this lesson where students can understand the meaning of telling someone to do something and asking someone to do something, and students can differentiate between imperative verbs, polite requests, encouragement or suggestions, negative comments, polite requests for avoidance, and warning or strong advice. And the last, students can create and practice conversation using the expression telling and asking what to do accurately and contextually. Additionally, the lesson focused on developing speaking and writing skills with particular attention to grammar and vocabulary accuracy. Now, let's move on to the detailed explanation of the lesson structure. And here is the warm-up. The teacher is resting 5 minutes. The teacher began by greeting the students, checking attendance, and asking what they would learn that day. Here is the presentations. To explain the definition and example of telling and asking not to do, wrote them on the board and asked students to read them aloud. The teacher also clarified the material using relevant pictures. The teacher is wasting 10 minutes for practice. Here, the students were given a worksheet to identify specific expression, and the teacher asked each student to present their answer and then divided the class into groups to create conversation based on the topic. Each group presents their dialogues to the class. And the evaluation, the teacher is wasting 5 minutes. At the end of the session, the teacher reviews the material, asks students to summarize the lesson and ensure their understanding. And the lesson ends with Alhamdulillah. Now let's move on to the detailed explanation of reflection question. The first question is, did the teacher use CLT? Yes, the teacher used communicative language teaching. This was evident in the teacher's active questioning such as, do you have any question? The teacher also encouraged group work which promote interaction among students. Evaluation at the end of the class helped to close the lesson effectively. And the second question is, how engaged were the students? 8 of 10 present students were quite focused and active during the lesson. However, I noticed 2 students appear sleepy at the beginning of the session. And the next question is, what did you notice about teacher talk time versus student talk time? I think the speaking activity between the students and the teacher in the class is not very much, but it is sometimes quite interactive. This can be seen when the teacher asks questions and the students answer and vice versa. However, there are times when students seem confused about how to respond. During the explanation of the material, the teacher also always asks the student, is there anything you'd like to ask? Instead of just asking, do you understand, which is answered with yes by the student. Additionally, because there is an assignment that requires the student to speak, which is a conversation between 2 students, the class becomes livelier. The next question is, was there a warm-up session? Unfortunately, the warm-up session was not very interactive. The teacher only greets students and check attendance without activities to boost students' enthusiasm. And the next is, how was new material present? The teacher provided definitions, explained them clearly, and used pictures to reinforce understanding. This helps students grasp the concept effectively. And the next is, how did students practice new material? The students practice the new material by working on a conversation sheet, identifying and highlighting parts that indicate telling someone to do something and asking someone to do something. In addition, the students also create and practice conversation related to the material they had learned. And the next question is, was there an evaluation? Yes, there was. Before closing the class, the teacher asked questions and reviewed the material that had been learned to ensure whether the students gain new knowledge from the lesson or not. And the last, in this phase, write any final comments you have about the lesson you observed. My final comments on the lesson I observed is that the teacher's delivery of the material to the students was quite clear. However, there were moments when the teacher seemed slightly confused while explaining, possibly due to a lack of preparation. Even so, the overall performance was good. The class did not feel dull because there was interaction between the teacher and the students from the beginning to the end of the lesson. The teacher was also able to manage the class well when it started to get noise, such as when some students were joking with their friends. The students appear very enthusiastic about listening to the teacher's explanation, which enabled them to complete the task given successfully. At the end of the lesson, there was an evaluation aimed at ensuring that the students had understood the material and could apply it in practice. And here is the peer observation report. The teacher focuses on developing students' speaking and writing abilities using the communicative language teaching method, which fosters active communication between the teacher and the students. However, there were moments when the classroom atmosphere felt quiet, with only the teacher's explanation here, and two students seemed sleepy. Nevertheless, when the teacher showed a picture related to the topic, students seemed more interested in listening. And the teacher also used time effectively. Student activity appeared minimal, but they were sufficiently engaged in completing and presenting their tasks. During the lesson explanation, the teacher always asks, "Is there anything you'd like to ask?" Instead of simply asking, "Do you understand?" which student would reply to with yes. And at the beginning of the class, there was no warm-up session before the lesson began. The teacher just greeted the students, checked their attendance, and immediately started the lesson. The teacher's explanation were clear, so when students were assigned tasks, they were able to complete them and even present their work. However, there were moments when the teacher seemed a bit confused while explaining. When students became noise, the teacher was able to control the situation and maintain a conducive classroom environment. Students complete the task assigned by the teacher and then present them. The teacher also gave immediate feedback. At the end of the lesson, an evaluation process took place, where the teacher reviewed and asked students to ensure they understood the material. And this is my PQP feedback. For the prize, I really appreciate the effort put into creating the teaching video. I'm also quite impressed by the teacher's Amaliana courage in delivering the lesson, her ability to manage the classroom and maintaining students' attention during the learning process. The teacher was also able to provide clear enough explanations, allowing students to understand and complete their tasks effectively. And this is the question: has the teacher prepared one session before starting the lesson? For example, asking how the students are doing, reviewing previous materials, or doing light activities that are relevant. I noticed that at the beginning of the class, there was no warm-up session that could have attracted students' attention earlier. And the Polish is, I hope the teacher can add a warm-up session at the beginning of the lesson, such as a simple question and answer activity or a small fun activity. This could help capture students' attention from the start, make them more enthusiastic, and create a more active and interactive classroom atmosphere. So this is my explanation about my observation of Amalina's teaching demonstration in the TESOL material. I hope this explanation has been helpful for you. Thank you and see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.